If you've been following the channel, you'll know I recently reviewed Macaloni's Washington Peat expression. Well, the distillery is back with another smoky experiment, and this one is already turning heads. Their peat project, Isla Peat Ex-Bourbon Cask, just won Best Canadian Small Batch Single Malt at the 2025 World Whiskey Awards. Now, Macaloni's in Victoria, BC, has been pushing Canadian single malt in some really cool directions. This peat project series is their way of exploring different peat origins, and for this release, they've gone straight to the source. Isla Peat, hand cut the traditional way. That's right, the same coastal iodine-heavy peat that gives whiskeys like Laphroaig and Ardbeg their reputation. Except here, it is paired with Macaloni's Canadian-grown barley and Vancouver Island climate. This is locally smoked in the parking lot to 54 ppm or fennel parts per million, which for those non-peat drinkers is considered high. This expression is matured in ex-bourbon, and they tell me this is first fill bourbon. Macaloni's uses Buffalo Trace and Maker's Mark casks, so that should bring some sweetness to the table, I think. This is bottled at 46 ABV, non-chill filtered, and non-colored. So let's see what Isla Peat brings to the glass and give it a pour. Oh wow, right away, the smoke is sharper and more medicinal than the Washington Peat expression that I had reviewed before. That coastal Isla fingerprint definitely comes through immediately. Brine, iodine, touch of seaweed. But it's not just smoke. There's honey, vanilla, something surprisingly herbal, like fresh pine. Almost getting something bright like lemon zest. The smoke doesn't dominate, it sort of wraps around the sweetness. On the palate, there's a rich wave of smoke, ashy, a little tarry. Definitely iodine, but not too strong, which is nice for me. I don't love heavy iodine, yet it feels balanced. Vanilla cream, malt sweetness, marmalade. What's striking for me is the balance. The peat feels bold, but the spirit underneath still shines through. There's a lot going on. Leather, something bready. Not like a fresh bread, but something like sourdough. Compared to the Washington Peat, this one is definitely more assertive. If Washington Peat was a gentle campfire, this is a seaside bonfire with the tide rolling in. Really fun whiskey. Nice and oily. The finish is long, smoky and briny, with lingering pepper spice. Maybe a bit of oak char. But again, it never bulldozes that sweetness. There's balance. You know I love my sweet whiskeys. This just might be turning me into a peat lover. So, I guess how does it fit into the Macaloni's lineup? Well, this feels like it might be a bit of a milestone for me. The Washington Peat showed they could do sweet, gentle smoke. The Isla Peat proves they can go bold and still keep it balanced. For me, peat can be over the top, dominating. Finding balance is tough. And they've done it for me. Price-wise, it sits in that premium craft Canadian range, around $110. But I'd say it's a bottle worth seeking out if you want to see what happens when Canadian whiskey meets Isla Peat. For me, this is a whiskey that will appeal both to peat lovers and those curious about Canadian craft, and to Canadian whiskey drinkers wanting to dip into Isla smoke without leaving the country. And I have to say, I think this is one of Macaloni's most exciting releases yet. And if you've tried this one, let me know what you picked up in the glass. That marmalade caught me off guard. Thanks for watching. See you soon.